How do you do a proper uppercut? So uppercuts, as the name suggests, obviously, are punches that come from below, and they come from below upwards, hence the name uppercut. So a proper uppercut involves quite some steps and is a very technical punch. It's very difficult to do an uppercut properly, but if you do it properly, the impact is huge. Usually because you tend to land it on somebody's chin or at least somewhere around the face. Now, what's a bit difficult to demonstrate is I only have a punching bag and not a real opponent. So my punching bag does not have a chin, does not have a nose, so I can't land it directly on where you would normally land it in something that actually points outwards. But let me show you the principles of how you do an uppercut. So from a guard position, from a fighting position, what you need to do with an uppercut is, this is very important, often forgotten, is because it comes from down low, moves upwards, is you need to actually make sure that your center of gravity, your body is also slightly dropping. Yeah? Slightly dropping and then moving upwards. Just as well with any punch in MMA, Muay Thai, what have you, we borrow some principles from karate where we use rotational hip movement. So also with an upper punch, my hips are slightly facing outward if I'm going to punch with my right fist, and I'm going to rotate my hips and let my fist follow my body. Make sure that your supporting foot, so your rear foot, is really grounded well. So planted in the ground, or if you like, you can even just rest on the ball of your foot as you are making the uppercut. Standing on the ball of your foot will definitely give you a slightly bigger range of motion for the rotational force. So if you like, you can just put your resting foot on the ball. So with your front fist, the same principle applies, but now we need to make sure, usually our hips are rotated outwards, we need to make sure that we first rotate them inwards and then back outwards. Yeah? So, like that. With a punching bag, you should probably aim somewhere around the center, the sternum. If you were to apply this in a real life setting, you would start moving it upwards, like that. So with a punching bag, we need to imagine the actual opponent's chin being somewhere halfway inside the punching bag, so we can land it properly against the bag, but imagine for ourselves that we move it forward and end up somewhere there. So one last important thing with an uppercut is that you also need to move your upper body. Everything initiates from your lower body and from the hip rotational movement, but your upper body also plays a significant role. If I'm going to punch with my right hand, I tend to drop down low, but also slightly to the right, as to evade any punch coming in, but also make sure that my upper body is just following along with the rotational movement of my feet and of my hips. Yeah, like that. And I come up as I make the actual punch, then I move slightly to the left. So any punch coming directly through me, through the center, is going to be dodged simply by the preparation and by the execution. Yeah, make sure that if you see anything coming in, your guard is also present. With the left hand, the same principle applies. So I'm going to rotate before I'm going to make the punch in my preparation, slightly to the left, down below, then come up and rotate to the right. Yeah? My fist is in guard, so I can block anything. If a punch comes in through the center, I will directly evade it or be able to move outwards very quickly. So just to show this in one fluid motion, doing uppercuts, these are also called 5-6s, sometimes 5 being the front, 6 being the rear. Just to show them in a fluid motion. And these are really packing a punch. Uppercuts can really come in very hard, and definitely if you manage to break through the guard of your opponent, hit their chin, it's a guaranteed knockout. So that's how you do an uppercut.